Okay, good morning. Okay, this is our last portion in the module. Paranjolu. Okay. Inventory control. So, inventory control. We have already discussed a brief introduction about this. So, this is basically a control of the inventory, and how we will see how we can control the inventory, and what are the types of inventories, importance, etc. So, after that, there will be some models, inventory models, that you have to learn yourself. Anyway, first thing, that is a inventory. Inventory, it mainly refers to the goods and materials held available in the stock by a business which though remains idle at a stock store. That means this is actually a what we can see in the stock, or it is kept as a buffer, which all materials or services are kept as buffer stock, which is made available according to the demand. So these are the inventories, and it mainly includes the tools required for manufacturing, raw materials, semi-finished goods, finished goods, etc. Anything. So now the control. What is the inventory control? So this is the control of inventory. So we have to control the inventory, because the inventory should not go beyond the limit. Because every inventory material, even material, anything, that will be associated with a cost, particular money. So if the inventory goes beyond a limit, then it will turn into loss. So in order to have we have to optimize the inventory, or we have to control the inventory. So this is inventory control, and it is a systematic storage and recording of goods in such a way that the desired goods can be made to the operating shops at minimum ultimate cost. So by the minimum cost, with the minimum cost of inventory, how we can store the products, excess products, in a systematic manner. That is involved in the inventory control. So it is necessary to hold inventories of various kinds to act as a buffer between supply and demand for efficient operation of a system. So in order to have an efficient operation of the system, what we need is we have to hold the inventories like a buffer between which all things, that is supply and demand. So if we are supplying a huge amount of material, then it will after the demand, it will becomes extra or in excess, and this excess quantity will be kept as a buffer, or kept as an inventory. So this particular amount of materials, or the buffer stock, is to be controlled. So thus an effective control of the inventory is a must for smooth and efficient running of the production cycle with least interruptions. So in order to have an effective control of the inventory with least interruptions, without any interruptions, or preventing maximum interruptions, we have to have a smooth and efficient running. And for that, we have to control this inventory. So these are the main types of inventories. First one, raw materials, then work in process inventory, finished goods, goods for resale, and spare parts. I think we have discussed it. Anyway, raw materials means the input. What are the basic inputs for any production system, any production operation? We have some raw materials. Suppose the amount of raw materials is much higher than required for the operation. So at that time, that raw materials will be the purchased raw materials will be kept as stock. So when the production starts, it will be utilized. So till then, this will be kept as inventory. So this is the first type of inventory. Next comes the work in process inventory. Work in process inventory means mainly in the case of assembly and all. So we have to have product 1 and 2 to be assembled. Then what we do is after reaching 1 and 2 in the requisite quantity only, we start the production or assembly operation. So if any of the product is in excess, then the other one will be, or the excess quantity will be kept as inventory. That is semi-finished products, that is not finished, finally finished. So these semi-finished products will be kept as a inventory, that is the work in process inventory. Now suppose the goods are finished or the final products are made, and if the sales demand is less, then the excess products, that is the excess finished products, will be kept as an inventory or taken in the stock. So these particular goods are termed as the finished goods. So finished goods inventory comes under that category. Then regarding goods for resale, suppose if any due to any condition or any case, suppose the product, some of the products are returned back, maybe due to some failure, so it will be maintained, it will be repaired. After that, it should go for a resale. So these goods waiting for resale will be kept as inventory. So these are the other type of inventories. And finally, regarding the spare parts, there will be spare parts available for every standard products. So these thing will be used or utilized only if, in the case of maintenance. So at that time, this will be used. So till then, this will be kept as an inventory. So these are the main types of inventories. Now coming to the objective or the aim of inventory control. What are the aim of an inventory control? First of all, to ensure adequate supply of products to the customer and avoid shortages. So this is the main need of the inventory. Why we should keep a inventory? That means in case if there is any change in the demand, or if the demand goes up, then at that time we may not be able to produce that product in the quantity. So if we have a product in the stock, then it will be available, easily available. So we can avoid the shortages at that time during the bulk demand. So this is the first one, to ensure adequate supply of products to the customer and avoid shortages. Next one, to make sure that the financial investment in the inventories is minimum. So we are discussing about the inventory control, not inventory, but inventory control. So here we have to make sure that the financial investment in the inventories is minimum. That is the cost associated, whatever cost which is associated with the inventories should be minimum. That is, we have to minimize the inventory cost. How to minimize? That is, we have to prevent unnecessary increase in the inventory or unnecessary production of the materials or products, anything. Then efficient purchasing, storing, consumption and accounting of the materials. So the purchasing, regarding the purchasing, storing, consumption of the products, and everything related to the accounting, everything should be efficient, made efficient by the proper inventory control. So controlling is done over these things. Next, to maintain timely record of the inventories of all the items and to maintain the stock within the desired limit. So through this, we will monitor. There will be a continuous monitoring of every point of time. That is recording the inventories. Regarding the inventories, what is the present level of inventory? Whether we have to order for more. If there's a maximum and minimum level for the inventory. So suppose if the level goes down, before reaching the minimum point, we will place the order. We'll give some time. So that doesn't mean that we are placing the order at the last time. Just before that, we'll give some time for getting the product, because if we order a product at the once, we will not be getting the final product. It will take some time. So calculating that, we will place the order accordingly. That is a lead time that we will explain later. Anyway, this is the thing. Then to ensure timely action for the replenishment. So this is the same thing. That is before replenishment, or the if the stock is empty, before it becomes empty, we have to give the timely action. That is we have to order the for the new products. Then to provide a reserve stock for variations in lead time of the delivery of the material, same thing. Then to provide a scientific base for both short-term and long-term planning of the materials. So we are not just planning, we are giving a scientific basis. So how to give a scientific basis? According to some principles or anything, any scientific data. So these all are possible through the inventory control, or it should be done for a good inventory control. So these are the main objectives of a inventory control. Now, functions. What are the functions? So we have seen the objectives. Now, what are the functions? Same thing. We are representing as a function. The function, first function, purchasing material at an economic price at proper time and in sufficient quantity, so that not to run short of them at any time. So economic price, that means at the low price or optimum price. That is the low cost. At the low cost, we have to purchase the material. When? At the proper time. And how much? In sufficient quantities. Why? In order to not to run in short of them. That is, there should not be any shortage. We have to prevent the shortage. For preventing the shortage, at the right time, at the right place, at the right quantities, the material should be purchased. Then providing a suitable and secure storage location. So there should be a proper storage location for the stock to be kept. Then next function, developing a definite inventory identification system. So the inventory identification, how the inventory should be, which type of inventory should be there, what are the qualities, quantities, etc. Everything should be developed. Next, providing adequate and responsible storeroom staff. So this is the other function. That is, there should be someone responsible for controlling everything. That is a storeroom staff. So a storeroom staff will be responsible for controlling or monitoring whatever things. Next, inventory checkup. They have check. There is a periodic inventory checkup. So when the inventory level goes beyond point, then they should produce more in order to have keep the inventory level to the limit. Or if the inventory level goes beyond the limit, then we have to reduce the production rate, like that. Then inventory control should avoid built up stock levels beyond what is needed. That is a thing already mentioned. Okay, so these are the main functions of inventory control. That is, first of all, we have seen that is a purchasing material at a economic price, that is low cost, at the proper time, in the sufficient quantity, so as to run short of not to run short of them at any time. Then we have seen providing a secure and suitable storage location. Then developing a definite inventory identification system. So there should be a definite identification system for the inventory. Then regarding the storeroom staff, there should be a storeroom staff responsible for monitoring all the activities regarding the inventory control. Then we have seen regarding the inventory checkup, there should be a inventory checkup in a regular manner, regular periodic manner. And finally, it should not go beyond the demand or what we needed. So it should be optimum. Now we'll see what are the advantages of a good inventory control. For a good inventory control, what are the advantages? So first one, the production activity does not face shortage of the material. There should not be a shortage. That is the main thing of the inventory. Why we need an inventory? That means we have there should not be any shortage when the demand comes. Then sales activity does not face shortage of finished goods. Now, first one regarding the production. For production purpose, there should be what we need is the material, raw material. Now coming to sale, when the finished products is available, then we have to sell it. So at that, so that is the next one. Okay. Materials in appropriate quantity procured in time minimize the defect in the finished goods. Okay, so if there is any defect and all, then we can minimize it. And how we can we are having the products in the stock. So if there is any demand or is there any need to replace the product, then it will be available, easily available. Then delays in the production schedule are avoided and the production targets are achieved. So there will be a target, particular amount of. So the delay in the production schedule, in any case of the delay, that can be overcome by the good inventory control. And finally, accurate delivery dates built up the reputation and better relation with the customer. So the customers always they have a preference to those who give or provide the products in the right time. So suppose if the customer needs some products like 3,000 amount of product A, and if it is not available at the right time when he need, then he may not order for the next time, or he will keep the order for the other company. So there the relation will go. So in order to have a good or better relation or keep a reputation for a company, then we should stick on to the delivery date. Correct date itself we have to, or we should be able to deliver the product. Through this good inventory control, it will be able, or we will be able to have a good or accurate delivery dates. So that will give a better relation to the with the customers. Now one more thing, this some terms used with the inventory control. You can see here. Okay. Okay. This is the graph, which is in the x-axis you can see the time, and y-axis the stock level. Okay. So as the time increases, what happens? So first of all, we have a stock in this range, full stock. This is the maximum inventory. So through some analysis, we have found that this is the maximum amount we can keep in the inventory. So this is termed as the maximum inventory level. Now, this is zero level, and we should have a minimum of this particular level. That is a reserve stock or the safety stock. So there should be a minimum of this particular value. So this is the minimum inventory. Minimum inventory. This is the, so there should be a minimum value and a maximum value for the inventory. So the minimum value is termed as the minimum inventory, and the maximum value is the maximum inventory. So next, the difference between these two, the maximum and minimum value, is termed as the standard order, that is given here. So maximum quantity, minimum quantity, demand, you know what is the demand. Standard order means the difference between the maximum quantity and minimum quantity. Now reorder point. Reorder point means, so initially the stock level is like this. Then after utilizing, the stock goes down and reaches a minimum value. This is the minimum value, not zero, but minimum value. So at that time, the stock should be increased to the maximum value. But we cannot order in this time because the time will be going continuously. Okay. So if we order the product on this point, then it will go only like this, or it will be or the product will be available only after some time. So what we do is, at this particular point, this is the reorder point, we will make the order so that the production will start, and we can see after this particular time, this time, that is a lead time. This time it will be available, so it will be okay, filled up to the maximum point. So the process will continue. It will go like this, and this is the reorder point. We will make the order, and after the lead time, it will be filled. Likewise, it will go. This is the thing. Okay. So that is the reorder point. The quantity to be ordered. So how much it for it, the inventory to make the maximum quantity or reach the maximum quantity, that is the reorder quantity. And the time needed. for filling. That is a lead time. And now we can see there is a time between the two reorder points, this one and this one. That is the order cycle, termed as the order cycle. Next is the safety cycle, not safety cycle, that is safety stock. Safety stock we have already seen. This is the reserved stock, this particular amount, because before going to zero we are placing the order, so there should be a minimum value, that is also called as the minimum inventory level. So these are the basic terms involved in inventory control. So this is mainly about our module. So one more topic is there, that is inventory model, that you can refer. Okay, so I'll take the attendance.